Hey guys, welcome back to Mountain Murders. I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
How you doing, Dylan?
I'm doing pretty good.
Doing well this week?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay. We've had a little bit of snow come our
Yeah.
way.
Yes.
Couple of snowy days, snowy morning.
Yeah, it was coming down pretty good earlier today. I thought I was going to get snowed in at work.
Overall, it's been a pretty decent week.
Yes,
I'm ready for spring.
I'm totally ready for spring, and I was wondering if you were still sleuthing around on your missing children cases you've been watching.
Yeah, we talked about this last episode, the David Earl Miller story. I have been just engulfed in this Evelyn Boswell case out of Tennessee, missing 15-month-old baby. Her family. Now, hey, I'm not trying to disparage people of our region because we get called hillbillies sometimes, and you know that there's nothing that gets me in fighting mode than someone calling me a hillbilly.
Yeah, I know. Someone in England called us a hillbilly.
On our review. Yeah, I know. That was kind of funny. I was like, thank you,
I know.
douchebag.
I bet his teeth are messed up.
Yeah. Oh, if we're going to stereotype, I bet you don't have any dental hygiene.
And I'm just kidding about that. Anyone listening in England.
Why don't you go choke on some fish and chips? But no, really. I'm not trying to be disparaging about our people here, but when I look at the overall case, I'm just like, what in the hillbilly yeehaw is this bullshit?
Yeah, everything you've told me about that family.
Trailer parks and meth heads and liars and stolen cars and the daughter claiming that they're gypsies, but not we come from the, Romanian heritage.
Right.
We just like to move around and live in trailers.
Didn't she say she identified as a gypsy?
Yeah.
I don't think it works like that.
Which basically just means that she and her mom have moved around to a bunch of trailers.
Right.
Because I guess they just keep getting kicked out of places because they don't pay the rent or something.
Yeah, it sounds like that entire family is a hot mess.
No, they are. And they all have these crazy criminal backgrounds of attempted murder, kidnapping, just nuts, right? And so at the heart of it, you've got this little innocent baby. No sightings of her since December. The TBI's had 770 tips come in. They're trying to investigate. They're not turning up anything so far. They've dug up under some mobile homes. They've dredged a pond.
Yeah.
They're not having a lot of luck finding this baby.
Yeah, I just feel like the more time passes, the less likely of a good outcome. Right. But I hope I'm wrong.
So if you're looking for an active case to keep up with, who knows what will come out next. The mother, her name is Megan Boswell. She is a pathological liar. So
punch that in Google and you'll enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah, you'll get down a rabbit hole of scratching your head what the fuck is this?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the other story that I've been following is the Lori Vallow case.
Yeah, I think everybody's following that one.
That is the mother from Idaho. 2 missing kids. One is 17 and the younger is somewhere between 11, 13-year-old boy.
Right.
And the older one is the daughter. No one's seen her kids since September. Her ex-husband was murdered by her brother, and then he killed himself.
Yeah.
And then her new husband had a wife that died, and now they're thinking that could be under a mysterious circumstance.
Yeah, so I think in a pretty close proximity to each other, his wife died. Her husband was killed by her brother, who then killed himself.
And they were in a pretty heated divorce
and
custody battle.
Right.
Because she's with this guy who's a cult leader now.
And he apparently runs a doomsday cult. And they're it's being described as a Mormon doomsday cult. And obviously that's nothing against anyone who happens to be Mormon. I'm sure there's plenty of regular, normal Mormon people out there.
Well, it doesn't matter what it is. It's a fucking cult.
A cult's a cult, right?
A cult's a cult, right?
Right.
And cults are always there's always some money changing hands and some weird sex shit going on.
Right, all y'all can't do this stuff, but y'all need to do it with me. Right? It's always weird like that.
I just feel like all cults pretty much center around some weird sexual something or another.
Typically, but the ones led by women aren't usually structured like that.
Well, that's ridiculous, because if I was going to be a cult leader, it would be all about sex with attractive young men.
And they often are a lot more, they're not doomsday. They don't have a date on them, and they're actually they work. People are happy in them.
Okay.
Some of them.
So Lori Vallow was in Hawaii, refusing to cooperate. She's now being held on a $5 million bond before being extradited to Idaho.
Yeah, her and her new beau, when the heat got on them, they just took off to Hawaii for a little vacation. A little me time.
Yeah. So that's an interesting story.
Well, yeah, that $5 million bonds, I think, says a lot. They're wanting to make sure that no matter what access to cash or property anyone she knows or he knows has, that they can't get her out of jail. Right?
Right. Well, these mothers need to be held accountable for their children.
Yes.
And what's happened to their children?
You pointed out to me that there's actually very little, and it's about like a state-by-state basis, a law that could actually make you produce your children when damn authorities or other family members start really looking into it. There's really nothing on the books for everybody. You have to do this.
States have Kaylee's Law, which
Right.
of course was put in place after the whole Casey Anthony fiasco, where parents have within like 48 hours to report their missing children or they're punished
Right.
and charged. But, it's a handful of states. Maybe 5, 6 states have that. And it should be federal law.
It should be federal
It
law.
should just be across the board.
And it should be a stiff penalty.
I agree. We got
So-
to protect our children.
If you haven't done anything bad, you shouldn't be pussyfooting, or it should be one or the other. Either you can or you can't produce your damn children. I mean, what the hell?
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what have you dug up for us on this next case?
Speaking of children, we have 2 true crime cases that are going to take us back. And we're going to be talking about 2 stories out of New England.
Oh, wow.
The first one takes place during the 19th century.
Oh, okay. We're going way back.
We're talking about Holyoke, Massachusetts. It was a booming textile and, you'll appreciate this, paper mill town.
Oh, wow.
An influx of immigrant and migrant labor flocked to western Massachusetts during the early 1800s in hopes, of course, of building the American dream. Holyoke is also, if you're interested in nerdy facts, the birthplace of volleyball.
I've always wondered about that.
Holyoke is located in the Appalachian Mountains near East Mountain, the mountain, Tom?
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Mount Tom? It's an interesting one. And the Mount Tom Range, but are all part of the Appalachians. The Connecticut River also runs through the town, which aided in diversifying the industry in Holyoke during this time.
Yeah. So reckon they're bringing a bunch of stuff down the river, and you got little docks and trade and all that such happening?
Yeah, and just being able to utilize like the power from the river. There was a big waterfall.
Oh.
I think they talked about, trying to harness some power from that eventually. And in the 1870s, there was a second wave of migration, which came from Canada in the north and the Irish from the south and the Boston area to find work, which ended up causing an economic downturn. There was not enough money in the city to develop new infrastructure and keep up with the growing need for housing and jobs. More people coming in were willing to work for lower wages, so it kind of created this stagnant economy. A lot of men and women were out of work looking for work.
Yeah, it sounds like a little place that was growing, but then it's like it grew too fast.
Yes.
You get this big influx of people. They're looking for jobs. Now you have basic economics or market powers, if you will. You got a depressed labor force, people willing to work for nothing. So even the people who have jobs, they don't have a lot of extra money. It's just too much too fast for a little growing town, I'd say.
Yep. Just too fast, too much too soon, and then you have a lot of people out of work.
Well, yeah, and then you get a bunch of people just kind of hanging out, nothing to do. That's not good usually.
John, or Johann Kemmler, was born in Germany. I'll be calling him John today.
Because you don't want to butcher Johann every time?
I'm not up on my German. He was born in 1831 and came to the United States in 1852. He married Anna von Scheier, another German immigrant. At some point, Kemmler had studied medicine, but would always claim he was in poor circumstance, so his dreams of becoming a doctor never came to fruition.
Well, that would suck to do all that schooling, not get to use it.
John and Anna had 5 children, including triplets. They had Anna, Ludmilla, Emma, Mary, and George. George was stillborn, one of the triplets, and then Mary died about a month after the triplets were born.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably hard to have 3 healthy triplets back in that day, right?
Emma was the only surviving of the triplets. John had a job at Germania Mills, which was a textile factory located in South Holyoke that specialized in wool. This was in 1879. Now, before this, Kemmler had abandoned his family for about 6 months to go to work in Denver. He took the entire family savings, which was $260, went out west claiming he was going to look for work, but reportedly spent much of the money drinking and not working.
Oh my God.
Only to return penniless to his wife and kids.
So that's pretty damn cold move right there. What are they supposed to do this whole time you're gone?
He then combed New England looking for a job, finally landing in Holyoke. Now, the family lived in an attic apartment that was owned by the company. Now, the company apartments, typically in these areas, were run down, basically squalor.
Right.
But they offered close proximity to the factory. In June of 1879, Kemmler was let go by the company and also told he had to move along with his wife and 3 children out of the apartment.
Well, see, that's what kind of sucks about living in a company apartment. If you lose your job, there's like, oh yeah, by the way, you got to get the hell out.
Yep, pretty much. Upon returning to the apartment, he stood in the kitchen talking to his wife. I'm sure trying to explain to her that he just got canned was not an easy conversation to have. I mean, what are you like? Hey, honey, guess what? I got fired. Oh, and we're homeless.
Oh yeah, do you have any boxes?
So out of the blue, he made a strange request to his wife. He told Anna to go down the street and buy a hat for their youngest child, Emma. He explained he would watch after the children while she ran this errand. Now, reports state that he told his wife, go now and do what I tell you.
Okay.
Ever the subservient wife, Anna does what she's told. I mean, my oppositional defiance will be like, no.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're having a serious conversation about the future of this family. You talking about go buy a hat for one of the kids? Yeah. And you going to be an asshole about it? But times were different then.
Now, the children were in the living room of the apartment. Kemmler joined his kids and asked if they'd like some candy. He told them he had some candy upstairs. The children followed him, where they go upstairs to this kitchen area, and he begins to prepare them a meal of gruel.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's not Skittles.
Well, no, I thought you said we was having candy.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about some damn porridge, right?
And what is gruel?
I don't. From all I can peel away from what little literature I remember from school, is it's just like a freaking catch-all for everything you had left. Kind of. Is it oatmeal?
Wow.
Is it stew?
You should be Googling that.
I'm on that.
Talk.
I'm on top of that.
He's preparing a meal of gruel. And while he is preparing this dish, he adds his own special seasoning.
Oh my gosh.
Cyanide of potassium.
What the hell?
Now, in John's mind, murdering his children seemed to be the only solution. He was ashamed of being unemployed, was tired of struggling, and had nowhere to live. Now, a lot of people find themselves in tough financial pinches from time to time, right?
Yeah.
But we somehow forge ahead.
Well, yeah, feeding my kid horrible poison is not... And so here's what the vehicle of said poison was. Gruel, a thin liquid food of oatmeal or other meal, boiled in milk or water. Yummy.
They eat cream of wheat.
They wish they had cream of wheat. I think it's a little thinner than that. Oh my gosh.
When you're in a devastating situation, it's hard to kind of see beyond that. Like when you're down and out, you're like, oh shit, and you kind of panic and you think like, oh fuck, everything's falling apart.
Right.
You have those moments of panic.
Yeah.
But it'll pass. I mean, it always does. If John had just waited, the Industrial Revolution would be happening soon, economic prosperity was going to return to this area.